Good afternoon. I'm Irv Goldstein, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs for the University System of Maryland, and I am honored to have the role of introducing our distinguished panel. But first, I want to thank Mr. Norman Augustine for his thought-provoking remarks. His remarks really hit home in a state like Maryland, which is a knowledge economy state, but of course it is not just Maryland, but the entire country that is at risk. We are very fortunate in Maryland to have visionaries like Mr. Augustine, who chaired the National Academy's Gathering Storm Report, but also others such as Dan Moat and Nancy Grasnick, who served on that commission, and Britt Kerwin, who has been in the forefront of concerns about achievement gaps with our students and the need to produce STEM professionals and teachers. I think it's both Nancy and Britt that are really responsible for today's events. We are, of course, especially grateful that Governor O'Malley has chosen Mr. Augustine to serve on our University of Maryland System Board of Regents, where we can continually benefit from his insights. It's a great privilege. In that regard, we have a very distinguished panel of citizens and experts who will reflect on Mr. Augustine's remarks and also offer their own perspectives on the issues facing our society. Please note that in your program there are introductions for each of the panelists. So that I don't disrupt the panel, I'm going to introduce each of the panel members in the order in which they will present. Then each speaker will follow that order will follow each other in that order. First, I'm happy to introduce Mr. Rizwan Siddiqui, who is a registered professional engineer and a partner and vice president at EBA Engineering, a highly recognized civil and environmental engineering firm in Maryland. Mr. Siddiqui is head of the Water and Wastewater Engineering Division at EBA. In addition to his workforce responsibilities, he is heavily involved in training of new young engineers and workforce development. He's an adjunct instructor at Caton's Community College and teaches engineering applications. We're also grateful for his public service. He is presently serving on the Governor's STEM Task Force and co-chairs the Workforce Subcommittee of that task force. I'm next pleased to introduce Ms. Ann Coran, who is a master science teacher at Albert Einstein High School in the Montgomery County Public Schools. We are very grateful to her for her participation in the University System of Maryland Math Science Partnership Grant supported by the National Science Foundation. Ms. Coran has been honored in many ways, including being selected as a 2007-2008 Albert Einstein Distinguished Education Fellow with the Earth Science Division of the Science Mission Directorate, NASA. Ms. Coran gives to all of us through a dedication to learning and her students. She is a sponsor of the Howard Hughes Student Academy of Science, where students have won numerous national awards, and she's also coach of the ITS academic team. She also serves as a science representative to the Montgomery County Teachers Association for Teaching and Learning. Next, I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Wanda Ward, who the National Science Foundation has recently named Acting Assistant Director for its Directorate for Education and Human Resources. With over 14 years of experience, NSF experience, Dr. Ward manages a budget of $800 million and brings dedicated leadership to the National Science Foundation and its mission to achieve excellence in the U.S. science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. Our campuses here in the University System of Maryland have benefited greatly from NSF grants to help support our mission involving STEM education, and we are very, very appreciative of that help. Dr. Ward also serves on the President's National Science and Technology Council working groups in the areas of science education and workforce development and the social, behavioral, and economic sciences. In recognition of her work, Dr. Ward was awarded a Ford Foundation Fellowship and my own association, the 2005 American Psychological Association President's Citation, the most distinguished honor given by the APA President. The APA Award recognizes her steadfast support of the advancement of behavioral sciences and her devotion to enhancing the diversity of the science and engineering workforce. Finally, to conclude our panel's remarks, I'm really honored to introduce Dr. Nancy Grasnick, who, as many of you have known, is Maryland State Superintendent of Schools and the U.S. longest-serving appointed school chief. Dr. Grasnick is known for a strong focus on student achievement, teacher quality, parent involvement, public school funding, and early childhood education. Under Dr. Grasnick's leadership, Maryland is nationally recognized for its many achievements. And just recently, in January 2009, Education Week, the U.S. leading education newspaper, ranked Maryland's public school system as the first in the nation and said that Maryland is the country's most consistently high-performing state. Many of the pioneering policies enacted over Dr. Grasnick's 17-year tenure, instituting an explicit pre-K through 12 curriculum, developing statewide assessments, and holding school systems accountable for their results are now becoming commonplace in American classrooms. Dr. Grasnick has received many awards for her visionary leadership, including the Harold McGraw Prize in Education. She also received the Johns Hopkins Woodrow Wilson Award for Government Service, and in 2003, the Education Commission of the States gave Maryland its State Innovation Award for Excellence in Education and Policy Development. Thank you, and welcome to all of you. We look forward to hearing your remarks. Mr. Siddiqui, would you like to begin?